One, two, three. Okay, the intro's over. Time to grab your drink and sit down. Come on, we're starting.
Oh, and you got to adjust the camera and everything looks how it's supposed to be. And light is green, the trap is clean. Looks like things are moving. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Just come and bring yourselves a piece. Come sit down, grab your cup of coffee. There's donuts in the back on a table provided by Two Bear. Ashley, very much big thanks for doing the intro for us. You did a good job there. If you like it, say thank you to Ashley. It gives you guys something to look at, something to do between. It's kind of like intermission at the movies. Remember, let's all go to the movies. That's kind of her version of that, but you get to see it before the show. That way there's something to do. You guys can all get to know each other, say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Stuff like that. It's important. And I'm trying to still center myself here. I'm right here. There we go. Okay, so the Howard Stern view, the Wilson view from the show stuff. Where do you begin on a day like today? Do you talk about Israel all day long? Is that what everyone's going to do though? How do you not? Now, let me, I'm not giving you the stuff that everyone's giving you. Let me approach this differently, and I want you to think about this for a second. We're all sick of Israel. We're all sick of talking about Israel. We're all, every time you turn the TV on, every channel you go to, Israel, 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 until over here in the United States of America, you're like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. But they have to. Every minute of every day. They can't sleep at night because a rocket may kill them and their family. We're sick of it because it's bothering our TV schedule. We're sick of it because it ruins our morning drive to work because that's all everybody's talking about. And I'm with you. I get the idea. I get the premise. How many of us, raise your hand, how many are burned out on Ukraine and the war in Ukraine? I mean, it was entertaining for 2 or 3 weeks, and now it's like, okay, the war. You're going to get there with Israel. You're going to think, okay, I got it, Hamas, Israel, okay. You know what? Let me know if Iran attacks, okay? Let me know if the Eisenhower and the Gerald Ford, the aircraft carrier, let me know if they get involved. Other than that, come on, man. How easy it is for me, probably you guys too, how easy it is to lose fact that people are still dying. That it's a war, that they wake up every morning and have to put on their gear and they're going into battle. It's what's going to be. That's what's going to happen. How easy to forget that all of Israel is still under rocket threat. My wife and I caught a blurb of something the other day where that showed the Iron Dome rockets protecting Israel from the Hamas rockets. It was incredible. The reporter turns around, he's holding the camera up, and you can see these rockets going and the intercepting rockets. All I kept thinking of is what if one of them comes down right on this guy as he's filming? He's dead. He's not. May not even be Israeli. Maybe he's just a correspondent. He's dead. Call his wife. Tell her he's never coming home. He got hit with a rocket. There's real stuff going on. I know you can only I get it. And there's unless there's something new to report, it's always the same old reporting. Well, Hamas and the Israelis getting ready to invade Gaza, and they put out the leaflets in the northern part of the Gaza Strip. Everybody goes south, but Egypt's not trying to get them in. But the Hamas has closed off the one road. We've all heard the same stories 400 times. We've all got them memorized. I'm just saying this is a world show. I'm just trying to point out that what can become very mundane, repetitious, there's a better word. What can become very repetitious for the rest of us is never going to be repetitious for Israelis. They're going to call every day and go, there's rockets, there's rockets, there's rockets. And we're going, okay, we got it, there's rockets. They actually have to live with the rocket whizzing by and hoping it doesn't hit their house. I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not going to sit and dwell on the ins and outs, the wherefores and what have yous. I'm not going to even talk about the nuts and bolts particulars of what's going on. I just thought perhaps you guys should think about it a little bit differently when you're flipping channels and you're in your comfort of your living room and you're going, oh my God, that's all that's on every channel is Israel? Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say it is. just think about it. You're clear to change channels. Go ahead. But please don't be dismissive of what's going on. I am, and I'm working on it. I really am working on trying to always keep my head around the fact that there's children that are freaked out and screaming and crying, trying to go to sleep every night. I'm trying to keep that in my head so I can stay with a small amount of perspective on what's going on. I'm just letting you guys know. Maybe you should give some consideration before you get irritated about all that. Yeah, I'll tell you who that was in a second. My trained professional left my phone on. Anyway, so we'll move on. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on Israel. I want you guys to remember Tomash is over there. He's our number one guy over there in Israel. I got to get back to Tomash this week and do some more interview stuff with him. And I will. We'll get him on camera. We'll get him on tape. We'll get him on video. We'll talk about some of the front door. He'll just look out his front door and say, here's what's going on, because he's there on the ground. So if you see Tomash's name go by here in the comment section, when he can peel away from what he's doing, make sure you throw up the Israeli flag. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot to him that he knows that people are thinking about him. And from the perspective I just told you, just don't forget. Just don't click the channel away as quick as you can. It's something important. All right. So there was stuff. Let me jump over here between the sheets. If you don't know what the sheets are, it's to my left. You're right. There's another monitor. I got a little monitor over there, and it's Google Docs or Google Sheets. And right now we have Gen X Mom, my wife, is between the sheets, which is where I like her. What she's doing is she's copying, pasting what you're saying in the comment section. Why? Because if you're writing stuff in the comment section while I'm talking, I can't tell a story here and read what's going on there. So she copies and pastes what you guys are saying. If it's important, if it's stupid, she boots you. Like all the moderators will. So if you see a moderator swinging a big blue wrench, don't fuck around, they'll kick you out. But what happens is over here, she writes some stuff down, and then if I could take a pause, what I do is I look over here, and we go between the sheets. We look between the sheets. The Google Sheets are over here. Now you guys are all caught up on what the sheets are, all right? National Bosses Day. I'm gonna forego that. We all work for Gen Z Kid around here, who has a birthday coming up, October 23rd, I think. Yeah, I think that's what time he arrived. October 23rd, he's also going to be showing you guys something special. He's going to do a big show, like a 12-hour birthday show. I'm going to do part of it. Gen X Mom's going to do part of it. We're going to bring a lot of old pictures and stories from when Gen Z Kid was growing up. It is his birthday. He is turning 18. He is our boss. We all work for him. I'm sure someone can put up the link for him. He's got a birthday wish list. Stupid shit. You think he's 18? He'd want some cool stuff for his 18th birthday. He's got glow-in-the-dark basketballs and Rubik's Cubes and shit on there. But if you guys want to look at his wish list and get him something or an address to send him something nice, go right ahead. National Bosses Day. Not going to talk about that. The kid's a terrible boss to work for. Chuck Miller, I made it, General. Chuck, glad you're back. Glad you're here. Glad you showed up. Mickey Mack, good morning, General. Thank you very much, Mickey. Ranks are filling up behind me. Grab a chair. Who is this one? This one is, boy, that's hard to read. She got that so small. Jan Benson? I can't read that. From Denmark, it looks like. 45. See, I don't know what the currency is. It says DKK. So is that Denmarkian? Denkorian? I can't tell. Denmark is ready to be enlightened by America's wisest father. Well, Jan, when America's wisest father shows up, I'll let you know, and then we can all listen together. How's that? Crusade Electronics. Kind of an oxymoron there for this person's name. They chose the name Crusade Electronics. Now, crusade, you're thinking, the holy, the Holy Grail and the Holy Land and the Christian Crusades. You're thinking old school stuff, but then he throws the word electronics in there. Nah, it's kind of it's kind of like sidewalk spaceships. I just don't get it. Pickles and pyramids, they don't go together. What does it say here? Let's see what he said. Crusade Electronics, I'm sick of it because we are paying for the whole thing. America can't afford to do this. We are going to be broke. Nah, and we're not paying for the whole thing. We pay for quite a bit of it with Israel. I'm with you in premise. As a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert, just one American, I'm going to tell you that I am not in favor of every war in every place, supporting every leader to defeat every dictator possible. I mean, I'm for it. I'm just not for bankrupting my country to try to save yours. However, I make an exception with Israel. I'd probably make an exception with England too. Just telling you, that's my personal. You know, nobody calls me. I don't get a call from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and Biden doesn't say, "All right, now, General, I'm thinking on sending a battle group in there," and I'm not on the other end of the phone going, "Send in two." You know, you swing at this with the Louisville Slugger. Don't get out of fly swatter. You fucking around like that. You send in the Gerald Ford, that whole battle group. Send in the Eisenhower, and send the Ronald Reagan over to South Korea and tell Kim Jong-un can go fuck himself. Click. Now, if someone had called me, if I had said those things, you folks would notice the Ronald Reagan over there with its battle group in South Korea. You guys would notice the Gerald Ford and the Eisenhower and their battle groups in the Mediterranean, had someone called me and asked. Moving on. Glad you're coming along with me with that one. Tech Dumb Dad. Hey, General, did you see that they are saying that Hamas funding is crypto-based funding? Another reason we don't need crypto. Too hard to find out who is funding these terrorists. Yeah, but we know. I saw that Tech Dumb Dad was talking about need some time off, need a little vacation. And it's true. Tech Dumb Dad. I mean, he has the name Tech Dumb Dad, but I want to divulge some personal information about Tech Dumb Dad and what he does for a living and why he needs a vacation. He needs a vacation because he's been working tirelessly for years. There's a little shop in Pacoima, right below the Pacoima Dam that nobody even knows exists. No one, even people who live in Pacoima, don't know there's a Pacoima Dam. And there is a little shack below that. And Tech Dumb Dad has been repairing Xerox copiers. I think he cuts off at 1982. He doesn't go older than that. But his wheelhouse is mid-'80s Xerox copiers. I can't tell you how busy this guy is. People sending him stuff far and wide. He's been doing it for years. He needs some time off. Tech Dumb Dad, take some time off, buddy. Well, I would say we could find someone to replace you and help you, but nobody knows how to work on those but you. So Tech Dumb Dad, that's our guy. Robert Hoffman, member for 13 months. Robert Hoffman has his big red one. Do you? I was wondering if Tomash had any updates. I trust more of what he says than we get on our news. I need to go do some updates with Tomash. He does go on Discord. If you guys know our Discord server, it's just a bunch of chat rooms. It just chat rooms for old people. And Tomash is in the chat rooms, in the main chat often. He gives little videos. He gives little audio things. You guys want to talk to somebody who's on the ground there in Israel, to just point the camera and go, here's what's going on, judge for yourselves. Go to the Discord server. Pay attention when Tomash is in there, because he's great at communicating what's going on. All right, Stuart Bailey, I was starting to feel like that about the Bosnian conflict. Little did I know that 12 months later I was going to be posted there as a NATO peacekeeper. Yeah, it's all fun and games, so you end up with the blue helmet, isn't it? All right, so I think I'm caught up between the sheets. We can erase those and move on. There was some stuff I missed in here. Now, see, I don't understand. I thought there was a thing in here that I missed. It was like Kyle Carter dropped in $5. Long time since I've been on a live, coming to you from the Admirals Club at the Chicago Airport. Kyle, thank you for that. And you know what? Gen X Mom missed your super chat there. Good thing this trained and talented broadcast professional can scroll back through the comments, because she's screwing it all up. Let me see what else she missed. Got the Denmark one there. Boom, boom, boom. All right, she just missed one. We're okay. So I wanted to let me do some housekeeping stuff here. That's kind of important to get this out of the way, isn't it? Housekeeping stuff is jar. If you guys didn't get the notification on Facebook or on YouTube that the World Show was about to begin, well, let me tell you why. They're terrible platforms and they don't care. That's the bottom line. They don't put stuff out there. But if you join Patreon, one of the moderators can put up the Patreon link. It's $1, but you get a ton of behind-the-scenes stuff, plus you get an email. We send an email out about 30 minutes before the show letting you know, hey, we're going here, we're doing this, and it'll be on what platform. It's Mrs. Fort Watton says it's the best dollar she's ever spent. And you got to remember, she's had plenty of dates in high school that cost her $1, and this was still better. Don't forget that. All right, moving right along. Also, if you're a member of Patreon, or if your name is green, do you see the names that are green over here? If you're a subscriber on Facebook, if you have that little green badge, or if your name is green here in the comments in YouTube, or if you're part of Patreon, you get to see stupid things that my son puts up. Now, Two Bear is on staff here and clipped out a bloop, der, boink, zip, bugga, doink thing video. It's like 20 seconds long. It's of me freaking out during a live stream when I got pissed. That's just a cover picture. But you guys are part of it. This is the behind the scenes stuff, the stuff that staff and the kid and the family does that you guys don't normally get to see. Almost all of it is Gen X Talks related, and it's some family stuff in there too. But you guys, that's one thing you're missing. If you didn't see bloop, der, boink, ger, zubba, dugga, doink, then it's because you didn't pay your dollar, man. Oh, for Christ's sake. All right. Tonight is movie night on Discord, since we're talking about Discord. Everybody gathers around. Trippy Pineapple and Lionheart OG. They put together a movie. We can all sit and watch it. Sometimes there's 5 people hanging out. Sometimes there's 50. Tonight's movie is Hocus Pocus, which I will not be attending. I don't like the movie. I don't like the story. I don't like the actresses. And I'm not really happy with Disney right now. But you folks can go. It'll be there. All right. Something you may not know. The Facebook Garage Show is every Friday at 6 p.m. And Gen X Mom, my wife, she does it with me. She grabs the camera, she talks, and we go into the garage, we sit down, I pull out some old tools, I pull out some projects, I quiz you guys on some stuff, we pull out some things, and I got stuff going back, 60, 70 years of stupid stuff that I've been collecting forever because I don't want to get rid of it because I'm a cheap asshole. But I've kept it, and sometimes bringing that stuff out, some people go, holy shit, why do you have that? And then we talk about the uselessness of what I collect. But it's a lot of fun. This right now is almost the fastest growing thing on Gen X Talks, this Facebook Garage Show that we do. It is so much fun to do. We just sit, we bring some stuff in, we talk, I respond to everything you guys say because Gen X Mom's holding the camera. And she's reading it and just so you guys know, anybody's on Facebook, we might even start simulcasting it. It's so fucking cool. All right. Let's just, God, I want to get past all these bullshit. Let me go back to what I was saying here and get back to a real camera angle. Moving on, movie cast, reading my book of lies and my notes. Something. So I want to talk real quick about protesters in the United States. I don't know what it's like in your country, and this is where the world show begins, is right now. I need to know from your country, please speak on behalf of your country. Okay? Let's try that. Is your country more supporting Israel or the Palestinians? Kind of not the Palestinian people, but the Hamas, Hezbollah, Iranian sect of that. You can just write Germany here and we're split down the middle, or you can say France, we're leaning, more Israel. Because I'm sure you guys have seen the protest in the United States, and you want to talk about, I don't mind when people have a different opinion. I don't mind when people express their views. I think that's what we're all supposed to do. But they had more than two, but they had lines of people on each side of major streets. Pro-Israel, pro-Hamas, facing each other across 6 lanes of traffic. And the pro-Israel ones are pretty simple. They're upset, they got attacked, they got murdered, blah, 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 and they're angry and they're going after it. We got it. I understand that completely. But you go to the other side of the street in my country, and I can't tell you how many times they did this, how many interviews did this. And these people said, you're lying. Hamas did not do any of those things. They say, well, they murdered people. They came across the border. They fired missiles. They attacked. They cut off kids' heads and made the parents watch. They raped them. No, that never happened. That has been disproven. That has been proven to be fake. You're lying, and don't talk about the Palestinian people and Hamas that way. Now, if you didn't see it, I'm not even doing it justice. That is word for word what these people said. That's just like when you have a conspiracy theory and you prove they're wrong, on their stupid thing they believe, their stupid agenda that you're like, okay, what you're saying about your stupid conspiracy is wrong. We've proven it 13 different ways. And people in my country just look at you and go, I don't care. I don't believe you. I still believe the conspiracy. I still believe it might, even when it's proven wrong. That's what it's like dealing with these people. We've already been ready for it. We've been dealing with idiots and their conspiracies in my country. Stupid conspiracies, not ones that are real. There are some deep ones. Iran-Contra turned out to be true, stuff like that. But you got people that deny what you can clearly see. There could be a guy walking with a phone recording people dying, just walking down the street in the middle of all this Hamas and Israeli and people shooting and people dying, films it all, puts it out there on the internet. And there are people that will just look and go, no, didn't happen. Now that's from somewhere else. That's a different picture. And do you know why they get away with that kind of stuff? Because they'll find an article online where someone shows a building being blown up and says, look what Hamas did to Israel. And someone says, no, that building was in Somalia. That building was a bombing in Egypt. You're using the wrong picture to blame Hamas for Israel. Therefore, everything you're saying is full of shit and it's all wrong. And they hang their argument on one mistake or one problem, and they run away with it like that. That's how dumb the United States is. That's how dumb we are. Now, I say we, there's 350 million of us, but I cannot even fathom that people that ignorant, that stupid, willing to lie, live here. Because that's exactly what they're doing. There's no question about it. They're lying. They're absolutely 100% fake lying. They know that's going on. So all I can do is stand up for you. I'll say, all right, from America's point of view, our government and our country stands with Israel 100%. I think we're divided in this country about 20% for Hamas, 80% for Israel. That's just my guess. That's my guess, is that 20% of my country are a bunch of lunatics that have their heads so far up their ass they're never going to see daylight again. Now I'm going to look over on the sheets. I'm hoping you guys put it in the comments. England, where are you guys at? Germany, where are you guys at? What about our guy from the South China Sea in the Philippines? What's going on down there? I'm just asking now. I need you guys to tell me what's going on from where you live. Or if there's just somebody from the state of Kentucky goes, hey man, everybody in Kentucky's pro-Israel. Everybody else is fucked. Tell me. I'm not going to know this kind of stuff. You guys aren't going to know this kind of stuff watching CNN, watching the BBC. You're not going to know this stuff watching Fox News. You're not. You're going to have to get street level with people that are living in the situation. That's all I'm asking. Let me look in here. In the sheets over here to my left, your right, in between the Google Sheets is my wife, Mrs. Fort Watton, gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships, the Ermin Way, Lemmy, Jay, Maelstrom 69, and Data Secure. You guys can now take a peek behind the curtain after the program's over. Your name is now in green after the program's over. Jump over to the community section, take a look at what's going on behind there, and you can see stuff nobody else can see. All of a sudden, there's stuff that appears, and you get to view it too. All right. Scott Royston, member for 12 months, bottom of the Glass Nation. Thank you, Scott, for sticking around for so long. I love you, buddy. Jamie Erickson, welcome to the Bottom Glass Nation, new member. I'm hoping you guys welcome the new members as they come by, because I miss them. Deepak, member for 17 months, holding down the edge of the border over there in Ireland for us. Bottom of the Glass Nation. Is the big show going to return? I used to set my alarm for that. The kid wants to do big shows again. Remember, they were like game shows when we did those? They were a lot of fun. They were huge fun. Remember Dead Air? Remember Paper Toss? Remember the ones we did, like the last 5 or 6 shows, we had the prank collect phone calls? Those were fun too. I don't know. You'd have to ask the kid. If you guys email the kid, Gen Z Kid at genxtalks.com, he's on the verge of thinking about it. If you guys send him some emails personally, I bet he'd do it again. Big show, pumpkin carving with Gen Z and Gen X Dad on Wednesday the 25th. All right, so this is kind of a big show, but once a month now on Wednesdays, the last Wednesday of every month, we're going to do a cooking show. I've agreed to participate. It's going to be themed. So once a month, simulcast everywhere. Kind of a big show, but it's just cooking. This time we're doing pumpkin carving. Now I'm bringing my A game. Now Gen X mom's getting the kitchen set up, and the kid's got his pumpkin carving tools. He's got everything ready. You know what? I got a buck 110 knife. I'm bringing power tools from my garage. Seriously, I'm bringing my power tools in, and I'm bringing my stuff. And no, my shit's gonna be. I want 3 pumpkins because I'm gonna make 3 different ones that are just gonna be kick ass. I've been carving pumpkins with kids most of my adult life. Don't think I can't just jump in here and do some good. So that is Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday, October 25th. It's a cooking show. It's a big show, sort of. Simulcast everywhere. Set your alarm for that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Jamie Erickson upgraded membership to KGXT Studios. Jamie has upgraded to the highest level of support for the upcoming radio station, and it's coming. Stuart Bailey in the UK, we've got a mixture of both. Now, here's a response from the UK. This is what you guys are waiting for. Now, listen. Stuart Bailey in the UK, we've got a mixture of both, but it's probably 80-20 in support of Israel. That's what I'm thinking it is here. Isn't that funny that in the United States and the UK, there's 80% rational people and 20% fucked up individuals? All right. Guess that's the same everywhere. What else we got? Deepak, member for 1 year. For me, leaning towards Israel. Palestine keep refusing the 2-state solution. As much as it pains me, Ireland has to accept a 2-state solution. Northern Ireland is still UK. You do have a few similarities there. I see where you're going with that, Deepak. I get it about the Ireland. I get it. No. I do understand that whole dilemma with England and the UK and the right of who you are. Hey, look, man. I understand it with Scotland. I understand it with Ireland. I saw Braveheart. Okay, Scotland is free. I understand the premise, man. I've watched that documentary several times. I'm now an expert. Plus, I got you in my corner, Deepak. We're good, baby. That's the part that I don't like, is that Israel comes to, I've watched a lot of documentaries on this recently, as I'm sure we all have. Israel comes to the table and says, all right, we don't want the 2-state solution and having Palestinian state and an Israeli state, but we'll do it, whatever. Palestinians go, fuck off, we're not doing it. Israel goes, fine, we didn't want to do it anyway. And then everybody blames Israel. It's like, wait a second, follow me on this. Israel says we'll figure out some 2-state shit. Palestine says, fuck off, we don't want it. Israel says, all right, then we don't want it either. We didn't want it anyway, but we were going to do it for you. Then Israel moves in and occupies the West Bank, occupies Gaza, occupies some shit. They got territories in there, and everyone's pissed at Israel. It's like, are you fucking out of your mind? Whatever. Big Chill, Canada, mostly pro-Palestine. Big Chill, are you kidding me? Did you guys see what he just wrote? Canada, as a country, just loosely, mostly pro-Palestine. I'm pro. I don't mind Palestine. Remember, there's a difference between Palestinians who are trying to find, their place in the world, and Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas. So I mean, I get what you're saying there. I guess Pigpen. Nobody seems to really give a shit about Israel or Hamas in a small town, Iowa. Well, maybe that's because it doesn't bother you and you guys still only have 3 channels and you're using a VHF antenna that bounces off the local Walmart. I'm just saying, that could be the possibility there. Paul McDonald, member for 2 months. That's because our news media intentionally uses the incorrect video and their pictures to create fear and push their political agenda. All news networks have done this. Yeah, they have. If you can't find a bloody picture to show the blood in Israel, they would use other pictures from other places just to demonstrate the carnage. I don't think they needed to in this case. Do you? I mean, to be fair, there is so much private information coming out. I just saw a thing that they recovered all these videos from Hamas. These fuckers came in with GoPros on their head filming all this shit. They wanted people to see the atrocities. They didn't want to hide it. They didn't want to have people. They wanted you to know what they were doing. There is just too much footage for anyone to go, no, it didn't happen. Nah, you're a liar or you're completely fucking ignorant. One of the two. Charles Stockham, member for 2 months. General Tamash wanted me to let you know that him and his family are under rocket fire again. He said it's in Tel Aviv, close to his house. He is northern, near Tel Aviv. Honestly thought his area was going to be safe. Pretty far north. not far enough north to be on the border of Lebanon, but pretty far north. But I'll be talking to Tomash soon. Kel Curry, member for 7 months. He's an extra. She's an extra. Thank you very much. See, she wrote that so small. My wife put in the sheets over here to my left. You're right. So small I can't read. I could pull the whole thing up to my face, but it would probably unplug. And what good would that do? Mrs. Fort Watton, member for 1 year. Take a poll. Big show or cooking show? I should do that. We should do that on Tuesday. We'll do that tomorrow night on a Bottom of the Glass Nation show. We go a couple 2 or 3 hours in the bottom of the glass. We're all drinking. We'll do that tomorrow night. Mrs. Ford, remind me tomorrow. We'll put that show back. We'll put that up there for a poll ask. Nick Slims, Canada on all 3 levels of government are pro-Israel. Now, see, Nick says that the government is pro-Israel all the way through. Big Chill says the country as a whole pro-Palestine. Just asking here, asking some questions. Noel says, hello, world. $5, turn my screen teal. James Broderick, now Joe Biden wants to take in 100,000 Palestinians from the conflict. What do you think about that one? I think the first thought is if Joe Biden wants to take in 100,000 Palestinian refugees, my first thought is take them in where? Because if you're just going to bring them on boats and dump them off in New York City, I'm going to have a problem with that. I'm not going to have a problem with helping out people in need. I'm going to have a problem with, out of those 100,000 people, how many thousands are coming over just to destroy America? Or how many are coming over here to be part of cells that gather together and cause destruction? How many are coming over here to kill Israelis that live in America? I would have a problem with that. Now, you want to take 100,000 Palestinians, you got the money, you got the time to go do that, fine. Then find a place to put them, not in the United States. Find a place to put them where they can get some medical attention, they can get food, they can get clothing, we can give them some showers, clean them up, get everybody where they're supposed to be, and then start vetting them one person at a time. That's what I'd say to do. Nobody would be stupid enough. No rational, sane, common sense person would be dumb enough just to bring 100,000 Palestinians over until you make sure who's mixed in. Because you're going to have some very good people that need a very good start that care very much about their lives. You're going to have people that are complete fuck-ups. And not all the Palestinians would want to come here anyway. Palestinians want their own place. Remember, that's what this is all about. They want their own state. They want their own government. They want their own. They don't want it. If they wanted to be kicked out and go someplace, they could have just been kicked out of Gaza. They could have been kicked out of Israel. Go someplace else. Go to Iran. Go to Lebanon. Even Jordan and Egypt will probably take some of you. Go. That's not what they want. They don't want to flee. They don't want to run. Temporarily, maybe. You're forgetting the whole thing is they're demanding that the earth beneath their feet is theirs. They want Israel gone. If you gave Palestinians over there the choice, even good, hardworking, regular Palestinians, not Hamas, not Hezbollah, no Iranians, you give them the choice, they would say, we'll stay here, take all the Jews and put them in America. Take 100,000 Jews there. Just saying, I get what you're saying about what Biden said. I didn't hear it. I'm just repeating what you said. But those are the thoughts that come to my mind right off the bat. All right, Nick Sims, welcome to being an extra. And who's the other one? David Black, member for 15 months. KGXT Studios level. Finally able to join in from can't read it, from a truck. Miss you guys. Yeah, David had to go back to driving around. That's going to be one of the hardest working dudes over on the West Coast, I tell you. The orange one, I can't read. $20 from, looks like Jamie Erickson. I just can't read it. It's too small. I'm only for my country because of learning the truth about Afghanistan. I can't read it. It's just too small. Maybe I can read it up on my screen. Let's find it here. Oh, there it goes. Now it's bigger. I'm only for, just as Jamie Erickson says, I'm only for my country because of learning the truth. What does that say? Boy, that's a tough one. We're going to have to come up with a different system here for me reading this shit. It's hard. I'm old. And no, I'm not going to put on my glasses in front of you guys. No, way too vain for that. I mean, would you want to mess with this? This is just perfect. This didn't come with glasses out of the box. No. I'm only for my country because of learning the truth about Afghanistan and Iraq. I did serve in the military and spoke with guys who had to protect poppy fields in Afghanistan. I'm anti-war. I don't think war solves anything. I think war does solve things. And by that, I mean, I think war stops bad people from doing bad. I think if you just sit by and let bad people do bad things, all the good people end up dead. I don't like war either, at all. But sometimes you have to make war to stop evil from ruling the world. Not casting aspersions on anybody specifically that's evil, other than Hitler. And we had to go to war to get that guy. I think you have to. I think there's times you absolutely have to. There's no way around it. Just a Tiff, member for 19 months, Bottom of the Glass Nation member. Hello, General. Looking handsome as ever. Well, Tiff, thank you for noticing. FYI world, I'm taking applications for a new bestie since Sammy Joe is ignoring me lately. Sammy Joe's been ignoring everybody lately. I don't know what's going on with her. Usually she pops up, she's talking, she's hanging around. We're going to have to send some investigative crew to figure out what's going on with Sammy Joe. Sammy Joe just not around as much, and I don't know why. Maybe she's just not tall enough to reach the buttons on the computer anymore. Maybe someone needs to send her a couple yellow pages so you can stack them and get on top of them. For those of you who don't know what yellow pages are, please leave the stream immediately. You're too young to be here. Top Knots Rule, member for 13 months. He's an extra. Thank you, Top Knots Rule, for hanging out. All right, so there was some more stuff. I want to change gears and go a little bit more lighthearted for a minute. So the kid started doing something a few months back on Twitter or X or whatever you fucking want to call it. Let's call it something. But what he was doing was, I thought, was funny. He would pull a news article and then he would ask me to comment. He goes, "What do you see? Boom, what do you see when I show you this?" And of course, when you see something, we all have an opinion. Well, we're talking about a knee-jerk. Maybe that's what these things should be called, knee-jerk opinions, knee-jerk things, because he started out, he's renamed it like 3 times. It's like he shows the news article, he shows the news picture, and then it used to be what Generation X thinks, what we see. Here's the picture, what the news is trying to tell everybody, and here's what Generation X really sees. Then he changed it to something else. Then he changed it to common sense. I'll show you. Let me show you where we're at with some of this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. You get the idea what I'm talking about in 1 second. So let's start with this one. So this is the breaking news. Elon Musk flags Iranian supreme leader's post on Hamas attack in Israel. Now, that was the news. That was the news on the top. Breaking news, here's what the news read. Elon Musk flags, looks at, blah, blah, and he shows me the picture and says, "Dad, what do you think?" And I go, normally I hate censorship, but fuck that guy. So then he changed it to common sense people see. He used to say Generation X. He used to say something else before that. He's still figuring that part out. But here's what I want to tell you that's really strange about this. So he has no followers on Twitter. I mean, none. Or X, whatever we're calling it now. I think he's got like 1,500 people. He's got nobody on there. He doesn't get very many likes. He never gets any shares. Yet these pictures now are being copied and pasted, and we're bumping into them all over Facebook and all over Twitter. They're not sharing him, so he gets no credit for it. They're not putting, I guess he could put his watermark in there somewhere. He just puts it up there, and he's done a bunch of them. He's probably done 30 or 40 of them, and they're kind of funny. They're kind of to the point, but we're now getting hate mail. We're getting emails going, that's not cool what you said about that guy with that thing. Your little breaking news shit. It's not what common sense, man. Common sense is the news. What the news is saying is common sense. You guys are wrong. So we're getting emails, but he's not getting any views. He's not getting any likes, and he's not getting any shares. I said, well, fuck it. Who cares? At least you're getting people riled up. Here's another one. This one's dumb, too. The news writes, Yellowstone grizzly bear turns for its life, but from one. Runs for its life, but from what? My first thought was, I don't know, but they're going to blame it on, it's probably people, but they're going to blame it on global warming. Someone will say, there's a grizzly bear running for its life for global warming or something. That was my view on it. So now, again, you guys get in the flow of this. I'm not going to bore you with these forever, but that's kind of the flow. Breaking news. This was another one. Disney erases iconic character to satisfy sensitive viewers. Now with this one, I couldn't react. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, well, he goes and reads the story. They're getting rid of Bambi's mother dying. Yes, you heard me right. They're going to erase, they're going to rework the film, and they're going to take out Bambi's mother dying. Okay. Isn't that like a big subplot of the movie? Bambi's mother dying is now Bambi's on his own. Bambi's scared. Bambi's running around the forest making friends with people because he doesn't know where his mother is. Then there's this triumphant thing at the end where he finds his father, the stag, and isn't that the thing? What are you going to do? Make him run away from an orphanage now? He runs away from his orphanage, and that's where the story begins. I'm just there. I said when he finally told me what was going on, he had to look it up. I go, you took out Bambi's mom dying? I thought you guys loved a good victim story, which was really funny because Disney says, well, we're taking out the Bambi lost the mother, and we're taking that part out for sensitive people that would cry about that. Well, first of all, that's what you're supposed to do, dumbasses. You made Disney, you made Bambi's mother die so everyone would cry and feel sorry for Bambi, and the movie goes on. But why are you taking that out? I thought you liberals liked a good victim story. What better victim than Bambi's mother got shot by an old white hunter with a gun? Do you think that'd be right in your wheelhouse to show what a difficult life because of old white people's privilege, and what a difficult life this baby deer had, because of guns? You would think that this would be right up your alley. You took it out. Sometimes I think you guys got your head on backwards. Really, you do. You guys are all fucked up down there. What do I know? The news says California officials dragged their feet investigating a China-linked biolab, documents suggest. That was the news article. What I saw was Democrats won't go after China? Oh, I'm shocked. No shit. File that under the no shit section of Life. Here's another one. This one was super funny. A Ukrainian officer's captured Russian tank wasn't working. So if I get this story right, Russia loses a tank. Ukrainians capture the tank. They got the tank, but the tank's not working quite right. They called tech support in Russia and said, hey, we got this tank here and we can't get it to work. Tech support, if you read the whole article, tech support talked them through getting the tank working again. And the Ukrainians go, thanks, man, appreciate your help. Click. They turned it towards the Russians and started firing. Oh, man, I know you can't always find humor in war, but you got to admit, that's fucking hilarious. It really fucking is. All right, what else was there? Yeah, my kid shows me this one, how El Nino affects global warming. And I said it happens every 5 to 7 years. Don't you guys remember in the night El Nino and all the water and rain and flooding, and for a time, and then like 4 or 5 years later it comes, El Nino's back. It's a weather cycle, dumb shits. This is just what it does. Yeah, it happens every 5 to 7 years. El Nino is coming. Oh, for Christ's sake. I don't know what was bigger that year, the El Nino blowing or Monica Lewinsky blowing, but it was about the same time. The news says elusive baby creature spotted in California Creek for the first time in 160 years. Yeah, I said, or, because you can't see anything in the video, I said, or it's another illegal border crossing. Which that should have been the subtitle, that one, to be fair, wouldn't you say? I'm talking about world news here, man. This affects all of us. Oh, we did that one already. We did that one already. Where am I at here? Don't let's see this one. Another one here. Oh, yeah. Breaking news. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announces independent run for president, ending the Democratic primary challenge to Biden. It just means that Republicans are going to win. I don't know who they're going to put up there. We talked about this before in American politics at the presidential level. It happens every single time. Doesn't happen that often, but I think there was 3 times in like the last 100 years, maybe less, maybe 70 years, that a strong third-party candidate has entered the race. He pulls from his party. If he was a Republican, Ross Perot pulled from George Bush Sr., and Clinton won. this guy is going to pull from the Democratic Party, and whoever's the Republican nominee is going to win. Go back further. There's other examples in the United States. Now, for the whole world, keep your eye on this. If Kennedy Jr. really runs, as an independent, if he gets funding, which he has, if he gets TV time, which he does, he is going to absolutely collapse the vote on the left, because everybody who does not want to vote with the fringe, there are good Democrats in this country. There are good Democrats in my country that do not like the fringe extreme liberal left. They hate it. But that's what Biden represents. And everybody knows it. Now, Biden runs like he's in the center to get votes. And then when he's in office, he goes extremely far left and votes, it squashes things and votes in things that are as far left agenda as you can get. There are a ton of people that would never vote Republican, but would absolutely vote for anybody other than the Biden ticket. And guess what we've got? So you're gonna split that vote right down the middle. It's gonna be a chunk. That people of the world, watch if he runs, then you already know who's gonna win. All right, where are we at? California sues oil companies claiming they downplayed the risk of fossil fuels. That's just Gavin Newsom. He's my governor. I'm broadcasting from California. That's my job is to ruin everything and then blame Republicans. So absolutely ruin everything and go, well, it's the oil company's fault. You didn't disclose the mess. This guy is as full of shit as any politician ever has been in the history of politicians. All right, one more. What's this one? Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy was fatally shot inside his patrol car. That's the news part. And what did the kid write? First they defunded, then they decriminalized, and then this happens more and more. We're also going to file this one under no shit. This is how dumb my country is. Welcome to the United States of America. All right, so where was I? Don't go back here. In between the sheets, Deepak, remember for 1 year? Deepak from Ireland says, does that mean President Biden is now officially the Democratic candidate? Yeah, I think he always has been. I don't know that they've actually filed the paperwork. I mean, it's assumed that if the Democratic Party can't find someone to replace him, they can't run the Vice President, Kamala Harris. I know the rest of the world out there, you guys see, well, Kamala Harris is the Vice President. Let me give you a brief history on her. She slept her way to the top, like openly, slept her way into politics and to the top. Then when she ran against Biden. When Biden submitted to be in the primary, when Biden submitted to be a Democratic National Committee, they said, well, let's have our nominations. Let's pick someone. Biden was in there. Harris was in there. They were all running against each other, like 17 people. Okay? All trying to be the Democratic nominee for president. Kamala Harris was out first. She was out of the running almost the first or second person. Nobody funded her. Nobody was interested. Nobody supported her. She was out. She made the first debate. I think that was it. She was gone. Really early in the race. Now, they brought her back for the vice president because there's a black vote and the woman's vote, and it worked. It got some votes there. But nobody's interested in her running anything. They weren't before. They aren't now. So they can't remove Biden and slide her up there and have her run. It just can't happen. Anybody could beat her. Anybody. So they don't know what to do. The Democratic Party knows that Biden's very old. He's struggling with what he's doing. They shouldn't run him anymore. He's not the guy. Find a better candidate. Find someone in the Democratic Party who's a better candidate, someone strong. Get him in there. Get him to do it. Fine. Go ahead. But they can't find anybody. And they don't like Robert Kennedy. The reason they're not supporting him, the reason Democrats aren't supporting him, the reason Kennedy Jr.'s got to get off on the other side over there, the reason he has to leave is because he's too centered. He really believes that some of the shit they're doing is wrong. He will not become president and then go far left. He may go a little bit, but he's not going to go anywhere near where he was before. He can't. They can't do it. Their party can't take that. So they're scrambling to find somebody. When Deepak, if you ask if he's the official, if they can't find someone, yeah, they'll run him again. If they can't find a way to get someone else in there, yeah, they'll run him again. Right now, they tried to get Gavin Newsom, governor of California. He's kind of iffy on the whole thing. So they're in a very tight spot. They're in a very big mess right now. The economy's bad. The numbers are bad. Everybody's in turmoil over here. They can't keep blaming it on Republicans. They keep trying to say, well, it's all Trump's policies. So I thought you reversed all Trump's policies. Well, the Afghan pullout was all on him. Why didn't you change it? I couldn't change it. He already had a commitment, and I couldn't change his, Trump's policies were already there. How was I going to change the Afghan pullout policy? I don't know. Why'd you kill all the pipelines? Those were in place. Those were going along just fine. Why'd you kill the wall? So there's certain things you can destroy from Trump, but when things get fucked up, you say you couldn't fix it as president? Those are the ones you couldn't change? You can change the wall, but not Afghanistan? You can change the pipeline, but you can't close the border? What are you talking about? See, that's the problem they're running into. Even their own party is catching them going, Kate, you're making us all look bad. Stop this shit. They're in a bind. They're in a tough spot for sure. So, yes, he's the de facto nominee right now, Deepak, unless something else comes up. Tech Dumb Dad. This Earth has survived way worse than humans and fossil fuels. The planet will be here long after we have destroyed humanity. Well, for that I agree with you. Chris Stockham, I think they're going to pull him, Biden, at the last minute and put Newsom in at the last minute. Yeah, that's a strategy that might work because then he doesn't have to debate anybody, does he? Just kind of slide him in there at the last minute of the deadline for running and see what you can get away with. That's not a bad plan. Mama Mac, it'll be a weekend at Bernie's presidential run for Biden. Well, there's a Generation X pull if I ever saw one. That's right. Biden. We'll get him a pair of dark glasses and a red hat, and it could be Weekend at Bernie's in the White House. Weekend at Bernie's and Pennsylvania Avenue. That's what it should be called. James Broderick, Gavin Newsom is Pelosi's nephew, correct? Yeah, they're related. And their family's been running California for 110 years. Correct me if I'm wrong. No. That's Pelosi and Newsom are absolutely related, 100%. Valerie Walker, remember for 2 months, Supreme Court in Canada struck down Trudeau trying to stop the pipelines. Oh, well, good. It's about time somebody stepped to something because we ain't doing it down here. What do we got? Mrs. Four Watton, Newsom is debating DeSantis. That's a weird one, isn't it, Mrs. Four? That's not even a presidential debate. It's kind of a presidential debate, but it's a very weird one. And I think I know why they've set that up. They believe that the state of Florida versus the state of California, whoever wins that debate, then it's going to be, well, then that state must be the way to go. But I think that I'm not as impressed. I was more impressed with DeSantis a year ago than I am now. I don't like the way he debates, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for that. I don't like the way he debates at all. I got a real issue with how he conducts himself. I'm probably going to have a better opinion after a one-on-one debate. I think that's going to make a ton more sense. But I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But when you watch him debate in a group, it's just like, God, you missed your shots, man. It's like he's running around with a baseball bat, chopping at stuff, but only hitting 1 out of 3 things. It's weird. It's not like I thought it would be at all. So I'll look forward to this one. But Mrs. Four is right. That's something to look at. I think that's going to be very telling. Now, I'd love for DeSantis to crush Newsom and send Newsom home going, never mind, I don't want to be president. I'm just going to go back to being governor. I would love that. I would also love that would raise DeSantis up a little bit so we can kind of clear the field out and see what else he's got to say. But I'm not in charge of anything. In case you haven't noticed, nobody asked me shit. Nobody called me and says, well, what do you think? Nobody's done anything about that. Except for the aircraft carrier thing, which we got to earlier. Listen, I know I made the last half of the show a little bit lighthearted. That was intentional. I didn't want to just sit on the doom and gloom the whole time. Wanted to show you guys some interesting, funny stuff that goes on. I don't know how many of you guys are on Twitter, but there's nobody that supports the kid on Twitter. There's just nobody. If you guys have a Twitter account, just add him, follow him on there, get his numbers up a little bit. He's only at 50. He's been there for 2.5 years. He's got 1,500 people. He just can't catch a break on there. It doesn't matter who helps him. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate you guys listening. We touched a little bit on the back end aspect of the Israeli conflict, and not to forget about it. Don't let it pass you by. Don't flip the channels being irritated. You want to change the channel, change the channel, but don't normalize what's going on. Don't get used to it. Please don't get used to it, because Tomash and all the Jews over there, they're not getting used to it. This is not what they wanted. They didn't ask for this. I don't care how you twist it. This is not their fault. Not their fault at all. And they have to live with it every day. We can turn off the TV and go back to what we're doing. They can't. Tomash can't turn off his TV and go back to what he was doing, 3 weeks ago. We need to remember that part. You want to turn the TV off and go on with life, fine. But don't forget. And don't forget how real it is. That's important. That's the message for the day. Tried to be a little lighthearted. Tried to move on with some stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you had an hour of your time to waste, why not waste it here at Gen X Talks? There's worse things you can do with your hour. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Now I gotta go. Thank you.